Hello, in this video I'm going to take you inside my guide for free. I'm going to show you a grade 6 answer that's in my guide, as is the grade 9 answer. And I'll show you the grade 9 in my next video. Make sure you get to the end of this and click on the link. And the guide's doing pretty well. It's number 17 in the Kindle store test preparation and guides. Thank you very much to my viewers who bought it. So in this video you're going to meet these 6 things that you need to do to get a really high grade. In fact, I'm going to make that 7 because linguistic devices are separate from the ambitious vocabulary. So 7 things that you've got to do to get the grade 9, and hopefully you will read my bit of writing with me and work out why it doesn't quite get into the top grades. So here we go. Mr. Salles is not writing this guide to make money. To do this, he would have to dumb it down and include lots of tips on how to achieve grades 4, 5 and 6. This would vastly increase the number of potential readers of this guide. However, Mr. Salles believes that all students should strive to be excellent. He believes that all students are capable of getting much higher than their predicted grades. Consequently, his guide has a complete focus on how to achieve the highest grades. Well, so far it hasn't had any real linguistic devices, and it needs to have those all the way through. Although I would say it's got an extensive vocabulary, it's not that ambitious. Yes, it's matched to purpose, but is it compelling? Is it making you think, wow, this guide is amazing? Possibly not. There aren't any structural features yet. And yes, you'll find that the paragraphs are always going to be linked. So it's a good answer, but it doesn't fit all of these. So let's read the next couple of paragraphs. Mr. Salles also believes that the best way to achieve a grade 5 or 6 is not to be taught those skills alone. Instead, reading about how to get grades 7, 8 and 9 will develop your skills in lots of ways. True. Most students won't leap to grades 8 and 9. However, most of them will develop some grade 8 and 9 skills. This will make them and you better readers and writers. And this will also mean when examiners look for a best fit, they will improve your grade at least from 4 to 5, from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, etc. So as you can see, a very safe bit of writing. The vocabulary is good, sentences are well punctuated, but again we're lacking linguistic devices here. Then we come to the final paragraph. Mr. Salles explains that, though this can be hard for students to do, if they keep practicing, improvement is inevitable. He urges you to keep going and send your attempts to him at his YouTube channel, Mr. Salles Teaches English. Hundreds of students post comments each year thanking him for his videos and that have helped them achieve the highest grades and do much better than they or their teachers expected. His channel has had well over 2 million views, and this guide will take your revision to new levels. Okay, well let's go back to the assessment criteria. The register is quite convincing, there are no words out of place. But is it compelling? Can you remember any of the individual words that are used? And if you can't, it's probably not compelling. Is it matched to the purpose of telling you that the guide is good? Yes, it is. Does it tell you that the guide is absolutely awesome? Probably not. And that would be assuredly. Lots of vocabulary in there, but is it really ambitious? Well, again, that comes back to whether it was compelling. Do you remember it? It definitely didn't have lots of linguistic devices in there, all those mad father's crotch techniques that you no doubt remember from my other videos. Okay, well, how is it organised? Does it have an inventive use of structural features? Well, not really. I mean, it's paragraphed into 3 paragraphs. It's got a conclusion, but there's nothing inventive about it. Is the writing compelling? Well, we said not. Has it got some convincing ideas? Yeah, I think so. I think it's done a good job of telling you that the guide's going to be good. Are the ideas complex? Not sure. That's a gut call for you. And are the paragraphs fluently linked? Yes. Are they seamlessly linked with discourse markers like connectives? Yes, they were. So you can see why this is probably getting a grade 6, but not a 7, because it's missing those things that English teachers used to call flair, that gut reaction that shows you it's going really well. Okay, some of you will be watching this and thinking, well, I'm just going to go back and make sure that I can write something that has the skills in this. I want to get to a grade 6, so go back over the video and do that. Let me summarise in a different way why it hasn't got into the higher marks. It's too short for 40 minutes of writing. It was under 300 words. Too many paragraphs started the same way, and too many sentences start the same way. So this is an easy trick for you to improve your writing. Let's go back. Mr. Salles, he, hundreds, this, his. That's reasonably varied sentence starters. Mr. Salles again, oh, not so varied. However, this, or this was a bit like his, not so varied. Starting a sentence with and, but not really for effect, not so good. Mr. Salles, sentence start again. To, yeah, that's varied. This, another this. However, another however. He, which was similar to his, and consequently. So you can see quite a lot of the sentence starters are the same. Let's look at the paragraph start. Mr. Salles, this would, Mr. Salles, Mr. Salles. So repetitive to get a message across, but actually not really very interesting as paragraph openings go. There are very few rhetorical devices. That's its big weakness, and that's natural to do. When you're informing, it's natural to think, well, I don't need to persuade, but actually, when you watch the grade 9 video, you'll see that you'll still use a lot of persuasive techniques. Although it shows off with commas, the commas were absolutely correct, doesn't really show off other punctuation. And although the beginning is a little original, the ending isn't. So let's have a look at the beginning. Mr. Salles is not writing this guide to make money. Oh, that's interesting. You'd think I would be, wouldn't you? This would mean he would have to dumb it down. Well, why wouldn't he dumb it down? Because there's going to be lots more people at grades 4, 5 and 6 than 7 and above. So I'm a bit of an idiot, aren't I, to make a guide that's aimed at people getting higher grades? Well, that's just the way I am. So that opening is actually quite interesting, but the ending was not. It was just, this guide will take your revision to new levels. Well, okay, if you say so, Mr. Salles, but nothing really that interesting. And that leads me to point number 7. Although the paragraphs are organised, they're not crafted for impact. They're not sending you away desperate to buy my guide. Okay, hopefully that's shown you why a grade 6 response can be well written but still not get higher marks. Check out my next video when I show you the grade 9.